Hi everyone, for today's Foundation Friday, I'll be testing out the Aqua Foundation from Koh Gen Do. Welcome to Shelly Saves the Day. On my channel, I do life hacks, tech tips, and beauty videos, including foundation reviews just like this. So if that sounds like the kind of thing you're interested in, consider subscribing. So back before Foundation Friday took a break, I had reached out to a few companies and some of them were so super nice and they decided to send me some product for review, and this was one of them. So I don't know if you guys pronounce it as Koh Gen Do. That's the way I say it, but I've heard some people say Koh Gen Do. So you let me know how you say it down in the comments, but that's how I say it. And so they were nice enough to send over not only their foundation, the Aqua Foundation, which I heard they've actually recently reformulated, so my bottle may look a little different than some of the people now doing the reviews, as well as they were nice enough to send over this Moisture Fit Concealer, and they also sent over these cleansing spa water facial wipes and makeup removers. And you know, I will say they sent over, they had like 3 little packets of these. These are not my favorite, just to be honest. I kind of prefer the ones from Neutrogena, and they're just my OG ride or die. But these weren't bad, I prefer the other ones, and then I looked and these are a lot more expensive. And so I don't know if I would necessarily recommend these, but let's get into the foundation and the concealer. And you know, thank you so much to Koh Gen Do for sending these over. This is not sponsored by them in any way, so I'm still going to give you my opinions on it, but let's get into it. This is in the shade 113, and this is the My Font. Okay, you guys call me crazy, but it says My Fancy? Can't say this. Ugh, I don't know. You guys, how do you say this? It says like My Fancy. Aqua Foundation 113. It is a sheer luminous finish that diffuses the appearances of pores and imperfections with 1 to 2 pumps. And it says, you know, center of face outward, reapply for areas requiring more coverage. Setting with powder is optional, it's not required. And then use a makeup base first to help correct the appearance of skin imperfections for longer foundation use. So they're telling you here, you know, if you need to do any spot concealing or anything like that, do it first under your foundation and use a makeup primer. So you don't always see people saying all of that information, so maybe I should get into that. Let me find a primer, actually. I haven't primed yet. Okay, I'm back and I'm going to do a double primer, actually, because I'm high maintenance apparently. I'm going to do the Hourglass kind of around the outside of the face and the Professional just right here next to the nose. So let me do that. It does have 1 fluid ounce. It comes in a glass bottle, has a pump on the top, which I definitely love. As always, one half of my face I'll be doing with a beauty sponge, and today I'll be using the Real Techniques sponge. The other I'll be doing with a brush, and this is the Moda Metallic Foundation brush. And then I'll give you my opinions at the end which way I think applies better. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so it's actually a pretty thin consistency. It's pretty runny. Okay, ooh, get this out of my... I've already got it in my hair. You guys, what was I thinking with the hair down? Okay, I'll go ahead and just start with the brush. Okay, some first impressions of it. It might be a touch light, and it did soak into the skin really easily and blend in, except for one area, and it's right here around my nose where I always have problems, so I'm not going to fault it too much for that. But super easy to blend in. It feels like nothing. It's super lightweight, and it's almost dry already, so that's pretty cool. Okay, I'm gonna go in with the other side. It's definitely runny. It's a very light consistency. It's very runny. I think I just dripped it on my shirt. I'm a mess. Okay, so if I need to pick a winner, I would say they're pretty darn evenly matched, but I would go with the brush, only because on the sponge side, it looks like there's a bit more pronounced pores along my nose on the sponge side. So I would say it's close either way, but for me personally, I would probably go in with the brush and call that the winner. I think if you're really trying, I mean, maybe you can build this up with a second layer to be about medium coverage, but it's definitely pretty light coverage. It feels like nothing. It feels like absolutely nothing on the skin. So if you're not one of those people who likes to, you know, feel like you're wearing makeup, this might be a really good one to check out. Some of the bad sides though, it's $67. It's pretty pricey as far as foundation goes, and if you're gonna spend $67 to end up looking like you're just kind of wearing a little bit of coverage, some people may not like that, but you know, you've got some better stuff going on your skin. There's no parabens, there's no sulfates, there's no phthalates, none of that bad stuff is in this. Another bad thing though, I'm gonna knock off points though, is there's only 10 shades of this foundation, and most of them tend to pull pretty fair. So if you're on the darker end of the spectrum, I don't know if you're going to be able to find a color for you, which is a big fat bummer, and I kind of don't feel that's okay for a lot of these makeup companies to be doing. But I also know that this is, I believe, a Korean brand. Is it a Korean brand? I think it's a Korean or Japanese brand where a lot of the skin tones in those countries tend to be a little bit lighter, but I don't know if that's always a pass in every occasion. This particular foundation, you can find it on Sephora's website as well as the Koh Gen Do website, and I think that it's an interesting one that is really beautiful. It has a little bit of luminosity. I do like the color. I just wish they had more shades available, and for me personally, I wish there was just a tiny bit more coverage, but I'm definitely going to try and layer it up with another layer and see how that goes. Okay, so I was able to build it up pretty easily, and I do think it's like a good medium foundation right now. I do have to say too, I am noticing that in the monitor, when I'm looking, I am looking extremely pale, but I swear that like with the bright lights and stuff off and me looking in a mirror, it looks a lot closer to my own skin match and shade than it's coming across on camera. Another thing, you know, they sent me one shade, so I didn't go into a store and pick this out for myself. This is what they sent me, and it's a pretty close match if you're looking at it in person, but I just want to put that out there in case all of you want to come for me and be like, that shade is not even close. And like, one, I didn't pick it, and two, they sent it to me. Number two, I'm going to try out the concealer as well right before I go, so I haven't tried this one yet. Let's see here. Okay, so it comes in a little, like, looking like a mascara tube here. And it has like a little applicator. It's a very small one. It's certainly, like, it's very precise, so it could also even be good for cleaning up some of the brows maybe. I'm just gonna do a little bit here where I normally, oh, it's a little darker than I normally would do. It also is a bit yellow, but that's okay. I'm just gonna use my beauty blender here, or sponge. So the coverage is pretty good, but it's a little drier, and so you definitely want to go in with a sponge or something that maybe is even, you know, damp or sprayed with some Fix Plus to kind of meld it into the skin, because I could see how maybe it could come off as a little dry. But, you know, it's not bad. I kind of like that one, and this was in the color 03. I'm not sure exactly how their numbering system works, but that's just the color that they sent me. One thing as I'm looking in the mirror, I have to say, I think that it looks, even though it's coming off light, it still looks like very even toned and very pretty, a tiny bit luminous. And so I have to say, I kind of like this foundation, and it feels like nothing. It feels like there's absolutely nothing on my skin, which is amazing, because I definitely don't want to always feel like a cake face, and this doesn't feel like I'm putting a whole bunch of stuff on my skin that's bad for me. Thank you so much to Koh Gen Do for sending over these goodies for me to try so I could review it for you guys. Have you guys tried this foundation yet? Either the old style or the new style, or are you planning on actually trying them out? Let me know in the comments. And as always, if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. Love to see you be part of the Shelly squad. I will see you guys in a video very soon. Bye guys!